This is one of the simplest ways to make a clean and stylish Bubu Kaftan gown like this one on your screen. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step on how to achieve it. So let's get started. So this is the fabric we are going to use. We are using 3 yards 12 inches for the Ankara fabric and then the combination. Okay, so we folded the fabric 60 inches in length into 2, 60 inches in length into 2. Okay, and then I folded again, which is making it total of into 4. So after folding into 4, we are not going to take any shoulder slant for this gown because of the style we are making. Okay, so we are going to take the neck width of 6 inches. Okay, so the neck width for the gown is 6 inches. The back and the front neck depth will be the same, which is 3 inches. Okay, so after marking the neck depth, connect it to the neck width of 6 inches. After that, we are now going to go to the sleeve circumference. That part I placed my tape. We are going to mark 9 inches for the sleeve opening plus 1 inch for seam allowance, which is total of 10 inches. At that point, I am going to go inwards by 1 inch. We are not going to cut it all the way down. Okay, we are just going to notch that 1 inch. So we are done marking. We are now going to take the neck width first of all. After cutting the neck width, we are now going to notch that 1 inch for the sleeve opening. Okay, so after notching it, we are done with our marking and cutting. The essence of notching it 1 inch is for us to use it to fold the sleeve by that 1 inch, and then we'll couple by 1 inch. So next I am going to check the shoulder, and then I'm going to notch it, okay, for it to serve as a guide for me. So next I am now going to take my tape to measure the circumference of the neckline. Okay, you see what I'm doing? I'm measuring the neckline circumference. Okay, you can decide to open yours and measure, it will still give you the same thing. After measuring, I got 15 1/4. Okay, so the 15 1/4 is on fold, so 15 1/4 into 2 is giving us 30 and a half. So I placed the fabric, folded it into 2. Okay, so after folding, I am now going to draw the starting point first of all. So the upper part, now that's the part we are going to start from. So I drew a starting line. You can use your ruler to draw. So I'm taking the wideness of the collar to be 11 inches. You can make do with 10 inches, you can make do with 9 inches, depending on how wide you want the collar to be, because my client wants it to be very big. Okay, so I made do with 11 inches. So on fold, I am going to mark 15 1/4. That's what I marked, and then I'm going to add half an inch for the sewing allowance. So 15 1/4 plus the half inch is giving us 15 3/4. I'm going to mark that 15 3/4 at the upper part as well. Next, I am going to go down again. See that part I'm pointing? I'm going to make an extension. The extension I'm making now is the tip of the collar. Okay, so I marked 7 inches. You can use 5, you can use 6, depending on how you want it to be. So I'm going to connect those 2 points. Okay, you can decide to make it straight or curve. It all depends on you, the way you want it. You can use your ruler to connect. Okay, so next it is time for us to cut, but before we cut, I'm going to come down by half an inch at that part. Okay, at the down part, and then I'm still going to come up by half an inch. Okay, and then sink it into that extension line. So it is time for us to cut what we have. After cutting this collar, we are going to place it again to cut the second one that will serve as the facing. Okay, so after cutting the first one, I had to place the fabric on fold and then place the one I have cut earlier on top of the fabric to cut exactly what I have. So the second one I'm going to cut is going to serve as the interface or the lining to case the first one that we have cut. So we are done cutting. We notched the down part and the upper part as well of the center part. Okay, so now we are going to open it up. After opening it up and arranging it very well to place right side facing each other, after arranging it, we are now going to sew it. Okay, so for us to sew it, we are sewing that part I am pointing to the tip, upper part all the way down with half an inch, and then the down part of it we are going to sew it half an inch. So let's head over to the sewing machine. So it is time for us to sew. So we are going to sew the edges I told you earlier. So we are sewing the upper parts, the sides, okay, leaving the down part that we are going to use to couple the neck of the fabric. Okay, so after sewing we had to notch and then turn it. After turning we ironed it. So this is what we have. So I'm going to sew the down part, okay, that I'm going to use to fix the neckline of the gown. So after sewing, I'm going to tell you what next we are going to do. So after sewing, this is the neckline, okay, for the gown. So I'm going to pin center of the cape to the center of one side of the shoulder. So your shoulder, notch it, okay, notch the neckline area of your shoulder. So I'm going to pin it all the way from one shoulder to the next shoulder. After pinning it, I am going to sew it all round, okay. So enjoy the process. Take your time to pin it so that you know what you are doing. So after pinning it very well, I am going to put it on the sewing machine, and then I will sew from the center to one of the shoulder where the cape terminated, and then from the center again I'm going to sew to the other part of the shoulder where the other tip of the cape terminated. Okay, so enjoy the process. Next I'm going to tell us what we are going to do after sewing the cape. So after sewing, we have to turn the cape to the front side of the fabric. Okay, so this is what we have after sewing. So the next thing we are going to do now is to fold the sleeve. Okay, remember for the sleeve we went inwards by 1 inch. Okay, so that 1 inch is what we are going to sew down. So we are going to sew the sleeve circumference. We went in by 1 inch. So after sewing this part, we are going to sew the next part. So after sewing, we have to sew the ropes for the inner belt. So we cut 30 inches length by 1.5. So I had to fold it tiny. So I'm making 4 of it. Okay, so this is the 4. The next thing we are going to do now is to fold the gown into 2. Okay, so measure from the shoulder to the true waist length of 16 inches. So from that 16 inches, I am going to mark from the midpoint 7 inches. Okay, so that's the 7 inches that I am marking. So after marking that 7 inches, I'm going to use my pin to pin that part, and then I'm going to turn the gown over to the other part and then use my chalk to mark that part that I pinned. Okay, so the pin is serving as a guide for me. So next I am going to do the same for the other part of the gown. I'm going to arrange it very well. From the shoulder, I'm going to take the true waist length, and then from the center front I'm going to mark 7 inches. So on that mark line of 7 inches, I marked and used pin to secure it so that it will serve as a guide for me to mark the other part. Okay, so next I will open it up and then place my inner belt on that part that I marked, and then I'm going to sew it. After sewing it, I'll place the belt for the other part and sew, and do the same for the other panels. Remember, we are putting the belt for both the front and the back panel because my clients want the back snatched sometimes. So this is me fixing the second belt. So after sewing that, I'm going to tell you what next we are going to do. So we are done fixing the inner belt for both the front side and the back side. Okay, so next we are going to couple the sleeve. So that part that we hemmed is the sleeve circumference. Okay, so we are left with 1 inch by the corner. So we are going to use that, follow that 1 inch line, and then couple the gown all the way down. So after sewing this part down, we are going to sew the other side of the gown. After sewing it, we are going to fold it down with half an inch and another half an inch, which is total of 1 inch for the folding of the down part of the gown. So enjoy the process. So we are done coupling the two sides. So the next thing we are going to do is to hem the downside, okay, which is total of 1 inch. So after sewing it, the next thing we are going to do now is to top stitch the collar to the material side so that it is going to relax well. After doing that, we are done with the gown. Let's see the final outcome of the gown. So enjoy the process. So this part I'm sewing is optional, okay, so I'm top stitching the neckline so that the collar is going to relax very well. So you can decide to top stitch or not to. So we are done coupling the gown, the sleeve, the cape, the downside, everything is looking on point. So let our model wear it for us to see. The outcome of this gown is perfect on my client. So before you go, click on the next video on your screen to learn another beautiful style that you can sew and sell. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. I am Lois.